Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Top Corner Transfer Show. I'm your host Kieren, and I'm joined by nobody this time. This is going to be my thing only. I could potentially get some people in if they'd. One second, I have got it up on YouTube as well for some reason. I could potentially get some people involved. Hopefully, if any of the other guys want to get involved sometimes, so we can have a little bit of a debate on the transfers. I'm sure we can do that in the comments anyway. But we're just going to jump straight into it. I've got about half an hour before Josh goes live, so hopefully I can fit in what I've got to say in the half an hour. I'll probably will be able to fit in. I've only got about maybe 11 points to go through. I'm just going to skim over and then we'll just be done with that. But I think we should probably start with the breaking news pretty much, which has come out in like the last 5 to 10 minutes. And that's that PierreEmerick Aubameyang is one step away from joining Spurs in a 17 million transfer deal. That comes from Fabrizio Romano. Now, I think KL put this perfectly, which was the fact that PierreEmerick Aubameyang has hit his ceiling at Southampton, to say much. I know he is only 24. I don't think it's a good deal for Spurs. They've obviously got Ndombele, who somehow has been frozen out of the squad by Jose Mourinho, and for some reason Mourinho doesn't like to play him. I think he's probably better than Harry Winks, who they've got in there. He's not really good at anything. He would probably be a good addition to the Spurs squad, but it's not someone who will make Spurs title challenges, which I think is probably the ultimate goal for Spurs, to get back into that title picture, which they were in a few years ago under Pochettino. I think 17 million as well is absolutely ludicrous. 17 million for a player like that, when people will go for a lot less than that, who are better players than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It's absolutely ludicrous. I think Southampton have pulled the wool over Tottenham's eyes here. 17 million. They could get a better player than Højbjerg for 17 million. They could get two better players than Højbjerg for 7 million. 17 million. It is a real shame that Spurs have been done again. I thought Daniel Levy was all right with his transfers, but he's been mugged off here, I think. For Southampton, that 17 million could be invested over their squad if they do get poached during the summer. Like, we could see the likes of Danny Ings leaving. We could see the likes of Sofian Boufal leaving. They could strengthen the squad, that 17 million. Højbjerg was getting frozen out of the squad anyway by Hasenhüttl. Højbjerg, the captain of Southampton as well, so there will probably be a new captain of Southampton. So I'd like to see what everyone thinks of that in the comments. Will's in the chat, but I'll take Ndombele if Spurs don't want him. To be fair, I'd take Ndombele's backup as well. It is a real shame that he's been frozen out of the squad by Mourinho, because you can see the talent is there, but it's just a shame that for some reason I think Mourinho just doesn't like French midfielders, because he did the same thing with Pogba. He froze him out of the squad, and obviously just played him from the bench. But I don't know what it is about Ndombele. Obviously, we saw a few times last year, like he had the least touches of the ball, or he was substituted at half time in a few games. He just lacks that sort. He's just got the body language. He's similar to Martial a little bit. His body language just doesn't ooze fitness and work rate. But off the ball, he does do quite a lot. It is a shame, because I wanted him last year because I was hyped, because he had a good year at Lyon, and it was hyped when Tottenham signed him, because I was a little bit jealous. It is a shame to see him being frozen out of the squad like that. But anyway, we'll move on from that, and probably the newest piece of news that's come out about 5 minutes ago. We knew this anyway, but the Sun have come out and said that United are willing to wait until the end of the window for Grealish after the 80 million price tag. Now, as a Manchester United fan myself, I think 80 million for Jack Grealish is absolutely ludicrous. There's a lot of big transfers coming out at the moment. I think that's just natural with the transfer window, the way that football is progressing, the fees, the money in football. But Jack Grealish, as good as he is not worth £80 million. He is a £40 to £50 million player. He has obviously had an amazing season at Aston Villa. Props to him for keeping him up, but he's not an 80 million player. And if Villa want 80 million for him, I'm saying go look somewhere else. I do really want Jack Grealish at Man United, because we need the quality and depth. But if they're saying 80 million, just go look somewhere else. Get a Donny van der Beek. Get anybody who is going to cost us below 50 million, because we can't just keep splashing 80 million. We're signing Sancho for probably over 100 million. We can't keep splashing 80 million out on these players here and there, because we will break financial fair play. Something that City do, but it doesn't matter to them anyway. But I think Grealish would be a really good signing for Manchester United. He'd fit that role really well. I also don't think he'd mind coming off the bench a lot. He would get played a lot. Like, I don't understand these people that are moaning at the fact that we're going to sign these players and we're not going to play them, or they're going to hinder someone's progress, because it's always good to have competition in your team, and the more quality that you've got in your team, the better. If we want to be title challengers again, we need the quality in depth. We need these players that can step into the role and just be as good as our first team members. And Jack Grealish would definitely be as good as a first team player. You could even play him off the right sometimes, or the left. He's so versatile. He can play midfield, cam, left, right. He could probably even play up front. He has carried Villa this year so far. I said so far, the season's over. He carried Villa this year. Probably didn't play his best after lockdown, but those final 2 games of the season, he was absolutely phenomenal. You see what's there with him. I think that's probably what makes him a little bit better than James Maddison. The fact that he has carried a really poor Villa team without a genuine goal scorer in their team to staying up. And James Maddison, obviously, he's not got as many assists this year. He has had a good season, James Maddison, obviously injured towards the latter end of the season. But he just doesn't. I don't think James Maddison could. If you put James Maddison in Grealish's place, I don't think James Maddison could carry that Villa team like Jack Grealish has. So I'd like to see Jack Grealish at Old Trafford, but the more I see this 80 million price tag, I'm saying no. But I would love to see him at Old Trafford. But the longer this goes on, obviously, apparently we're willing to wait till the end of the transfer window anyway, which I'm all right with, because there's no rush on getting this. The only person I want us to rush with is Sancho, because then we can build on that. But Grealish is not a priority right now for me. So anyway, we'll move on to another story. This story comes from The Guardian anyway, which is Sergio Reguilon, Sevilla left back, linked with Chelsea. Chelsea have been linked with everybody this summer, as the transfer ban is now over. So they're probably going to get Havertz. They've got Werner Ziyech already. I'm probably missing another one they've signed. I can't think of it. But Reguilon, obviously to replace Max Alonso, who's been really poor for the majority of the season. Obviously had that really, really bad game against West Ham in, I think it was June. Poor season for Max Alonso, getting replaced by another Spanish left back, if this article is to be believed. Sergio Reguilon would probably be an upgrade on Max Alonso, but Everton are also interested in the Spaniard. He would replace Lucas Digne, who is rumoured to be wanting out for Everton, which is strange because Lucas Digne has probably been one of the best left backs in the league for the past couple of years, just behind Andy Robertson. His numbers are high. You can see what he brings to the Everton side. It would be a miss. I think Lucas Digne and Sergio Reguilon are probably on the same level. Sergio Reguilon was voted the best left back in the league of this season, by the Sevilla fans, I'm pretty sure. But I think for either Chelsea or Everton, it was rumoured to be 18 million euros, which is a real bargain, I think, for a player such as Sergio Reguilon, who's obviously young. He's got time on him. He'll be joining projects. In Chelsea, you've got Lampard. In Everton, you've got Ancelotti. Both decent managers. Both will use him right. Both will treat him right. You've got experienced heads in both them sides. Probably more in the Chelsea side than the Everton side. But I think it would be a good move for either of the sides. I'd love to sign Sergio Reguilon at Man United, but I don't think we'll be in for a left back. We've just got Brandon Williams down to a 4-year deal. So I think for either of these sides, it would be a decent deal, especially at 18 million euros. That's really cheap for a player and a player abroad at this point in the transfer window. Of course, they're only just rumours. He could stay at Sevilla. He could go somewhere else. I'm not quite sure yet. But if Everton were to sign him, I'd be looking at Lucas Digne and thinking that's class backup, because Lucas Digne is, like I said, he's been one of the best left backs in the league for the past couple of years. So we'll move on from Sergio Reguilon. I don't really know what to say about Sergio Reguilon. I've not really seen him play. I've not really. I've only used him on Football Manager. So the next piece of news is that Willian is close to joining Arsenal. I don't think this another piece of Chelsea news. Shall I say? Don't think this will excite Chelsea fans or make them very pleased at all. So Willian, the Brazilian from Chelsea, obviously won countless Premier Leagues there. I'm saying countless. He's probably only won 2, I think. He's won 2 Premier Leagues. He's been a mainstay in the side for a long time now. But he might be swapping the Chelsea blue for the Arsenal red, if you're to believe David Ornstein, who tweeted earlier on. Now, for me, this is not the signing that Arsenal need. They've already got that front three. Obviously, it's nice to have depth, but if you look at the depth that they've got good youngsters in there. They've got Martinelli, they've got Nketiah, they've got Reece Nelson. Those 3 are probably decent enough depth for a team like Arsenal if you're going to be in the Europa League. Willian probably is good to have as an experienced head, but for Willian, I think his time in the Premier League is probably going. Now, he's a phenomenal footballer. He's been brilliant every season he's been in the Premier League. But I think his time is probably at an end in the Premier League. I think he should go abroad. I think he was linked with Zenit. I think it was Zenit anyway. I think for Arsenal, it's not the right type of move to make. Obviously, they're going to be lacking funds, so they're probably trying to get free transfers in. If you're looking at it that way, it is probably decent enough buy for Arsenal. It is probably decent enough buy for Arsenal if you're looking at it that way. But other than that, we'll move on. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, Spurs and AC Milan are in talks for Serge Aurier, the right back, the Ivorian right back. Decent deal for Spurs. I think they probably want to get Aurier off the cards. He's not had the best year. He's probably their only right back at the moment, now that Kyle Walker-Peters is out on loan at Southampton. He'll be coming back in the summer. He's probably a decent enough deal for AC Milan as well, who will get that experience in the side. Aurier is a good attacking fullback. But if you're looking at it from the AC Milan point of view, there are many better right backs out there to go for other than Serge Aurier. I think they probably should look elsewhere. But it just depends if Spurs want Aurier off the cards or if they're willing to replace him with someone. I've not actually seen them linked with anybody. I know they're probably trying to get Danny Rose off the cards as well. They probably need a new set of fullbacks in the summer because defensively they do lack the quality to challenge for the Premier League again. And for AC Milan though, I think they're now beginning to rise the sleeping giant a little bit. They've got players. They've got Ibra, who's a great leader. They've got Çalhanoğlu. They've got Theo Martinez, who's young and up and coming. They're probably trying to build the attacking side of their team because Sergio Aurier is very similar to Theo Hernandez in the amount of the attacks. Not both not very good defensively, but offensively they're really good. It just depends on that centre-back partnership and who you've got in front of that centre-back partnership. If you've got a CDM there, because they're probably going to get caught up quite high as the fullbacks, and it just all depends on who you've got back there. But yeah, overall, I don't know if this deal's going to happen. They have been in talks for a number of days now. Fabrizio Romano does keep reporting on this. Can I see this deal happening? I'd probably say 70% chance this deal will happen. But for Tottenham, especially, if this deal does happen, they do now need to sign a right back. We don't know how much money they've got. They're obviously going to be spending 17 million on Højbjerg, like we spoke about earlier. So they're going to have 17 million plus whatever they get for Aurier to buy another right back and maybe bolster that attack a little bit as well, which has been lacking in the last couple of years. But yeah, that's Tottenham and AC Milan. That was from Fabrizio Romano. Now, officially, this is official now. Alexis Sanchez has joined Inter Milan from Manchester United for free. There's no fee at all. I think the contract has been paid off, and he's on 7 million a year. I think Inter Milan. He joins. I think he's on 390,000 a week. I'm pretty sure at Inter Milan. So that's nice for him. He's lost 10 grand a week. I bet he's gutted about that. But I'm happy to see him go. He's on stupid wages. He's not even playing for our club at the moment. He has been on loan all season. I think he's on loan, but we still pay his wages. So now that he's gone, maybe the curse of the number 7 shirt can be lifted. It's good to get him off the cards because that frees up 400 grand a week to do whatever else we want to do with it. Unfortunately, it didn't really work for Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United. I would have loved it to work. So I really did like Alexis Sanchez when he was at Arsenal, and I did like him when he was at Man United. I thought he was overly criticised. He was targeted by a lot of our fans, but unfairly criticised is definitely the term I would use for him. It's a term I use for a lot of our players. I think a lot of our signings recently, but yeah, I wish him the best. I hope he does brilliantly in Inter Milan, and I hope everyone sees what a brilliant player he is. Everyone probably will see what a brilliant player he is now he's not at Manchester United, because I don't know, for some reason a lot of people just don't rate Man United players, but you know. So yeah, he's probably going to leave the number 7 shirt, and that shirt's probably going to go to a Jadon Sancho, who will be coming in probably in the next week or so. So we'll move on from that. Another done deal that is confirmed is Ferran Torres to Manchester City. He's now done and dusted. I think it's about 25 million euros, which is an absolute steal for someone so young and so talented. He can play right wing, left wing, cam. Some people are seeing him as a replacement for David Silva. Personally, I don't see him as a replacement for David Silva. I see him as the replacement for Leroy Sané. That depth on the left wing, depth on the right wing, because he's as versatile as Leroy Sané. Probably not as quick as Leroy Sané, not got the finishing prowess of Leroy Sané, but it's a decent deal for Manchester City. It's the first deal they've done. Nathan Ake is also rumoured to be joining Manchester City for around £41 million. Decent deal for Man City as well. They're probably going to be slashing the cash because they are linked to Koulibaly as well. And Koulibaly, I think the Napoli president came out the other day and said £81 million it would be to get Koulibaly away. So if you're thinking about that, they're going to spend 25 on Ferran Torres, 41 on the Nathan Ake. That's 66 million already. That's not 66 million. That's 60. Yes, it is. I'm shit at maths. 66 million already. Add 81 million onto that. It's 140 something million. I'm shit at maths. 140 something million already they'll be spending. Depends if they get Koulibaly over the line. Yeah, I don't really see him as the Ferran Torres, the David Silva, replacement. I see Phil Foden as that David Silva replacement. He'll probably get implemented into the squad a lot more. As we've seen, he's only had 5-minute spells. After lockdown, though, he did start a few games, get a lot of goals, get a lot of assists. He did start playing quite well. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of player he develops into, especially as an England fan. We've got a lot of good young up-and-coming talents in the England setup. So next, we'll do another done deal that officially happened. I think it was about a week ago. Victor Osimhen has joined Napoli from Lille to Napoli. £50 million, €50 million it was, which is I think that's a lot for Victor Osimhen. He is obviously young. He's Nigerian. He probably is the next starter for that Nigeria squad in striker with Igalo. I don't know if Igalo's retired from international football. I'm not sure, but he probably is the that starter for Nigeria in their squad. I think it's a decent enough signing for Napoli. He's obviously young. It depends what kind of project they're looking to do. I'm not quite sure if Gattuso is going to be there for the long run. I don't even know if he's still there. That's as much notice as I take to Italian football. 50 million euros, probably overpaying a little bit for Victor Osimhen. He obviously has got I don't know what his ceiling is. He has got the potential. He's a great player. He's quick. He's got good finishing. He had a really good season with Lille this year. I think he scored 10 plus goals this season, which is obviously great. And I think Lille have replaced him with Burak Yilmaz, if I'm not mistaken, which is a really good replacement. He's obviously been doing it in Turkey for a few years, and he's come into France to apply his trade. It'll be interesting to see how that goes for Lille. That and if it goes well, then I think they've done a really good deal there. I don't know how much Burak Yilmaz would have cost, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't 50 million euros. So they've made profit no matter what, and if they can use that profit to bolster their squad and get back into that Champions League picture, I think it's a really good deal for them. So now we've got our last 2 points for this transfer show. So we've got Thiago, who's in a 30 million offer from PSG. That was reported by Kicker. I know Liverpool fans probably won't want to hear this, but I think Thiago is probably not going to go to Liverpool anymore. Now, I may be forced to eat my words, but I think this PSG offer is probably concrete. I don't know how reliable Kicker are. I've just seen them report it, but 30 million is what was rumored to be the wanting price by Bayern Munich. I think it has been met. It's been met by PSG if this report is true. And I don't see why Thiago Alcantara would not want to go to PSG to link up with the likes of Neymar and Mbappe, Edison Cavani if he stays. They've got a lot of good players there. They've got a lot of talent there. They obviously they want to win the Champions League. So if that's what he wants to do, if that's what he wants to achieve in his career, then by all means that's the right place to go. However, you could do the same at Liverpool because Liverpool are obviously they're one of the best teams in Europe, favourites for the Champions League every year. But I think it'll be a decent deal for PSG if they get it done. Obviously, I'm not quite sure why Bayern Munich want him out because he was one of their best players this year. I mean, you look at the amount of key goals he scored; it's incredible. It's strange to let such a talent go like that when he's not even 30 yet. He's 29. You see a lot of the experienced players in that Bayern Munich squad still in there. You've got Muller, Neuer, Boateng, Alaba. It's incredible to me to think that someone that's so key to your squad would be allowed to go for as cheap as 30 million. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So we'll wrap this up now with the last and probably the most important piece of news that's come out in the last day. So it's that Jadon Sancho has agreed personal terms with Manchester United on a 5-year deal, and I am absolutely buzzing at this because Jadon Sancho would have been, if you asked me one player I wanted, it would have been him because he has been incredible in Germany this season, almost breaking the 20 goals, 20 assists mark this season. He's agreed personal terms on a 5-year deal with his wage being rumoured to be 160,000 to 200,000 a week, which I've got no problem with. But that right wing spot now is locked down to Jadon Sancho. I think that front three is looking scary. Martial, Rashford and Sancho. It's exciting to see such a young front three, which is, I don't want to say one of the best in Europe to jinx it already, but probably one of the best in Europe. You look at Rashford and Martial's numbers this year; they've done incredible. But for Jadon Sancho, his numbers in Germany have been incredible as well, and that's Fabrizio Romano. He did tweet earlier on to Fabrizio Romano saying that something is coming about Jadon Sancho. I'm just gonna look on Twitter now just to see if he's tweeted anything else. Tweet about Højbjerg. He did tweet something like "Here we go" or something under. Well, it was. Ooh. So he literally tweeted 30 minutes ago about Kai Havertz, replying to someone on Twitter, and he says, still same situation, Chelsea and Bayern in talks. So that could probably happen as well. I think he tweeted, that's it. Here we go under the Alexis Sanchez leaving. He put here we go, and a lot of Manchester United fans were saying that like he's announcing Sancho this and that. He's probably not announcing Sancho just yet. I don't think that'll be announced until the 7th, because we've got this thing where we seem to really announce players on the day that the shirt number is going to be. We did it with Harry Maguire. We did it with Aaron Bissaka. The 7th is rumoured to be when we'll announce Jadon Sancho, which is obviously 3 days off. Now, I don't agree with that. I think if you're agreeing with a player, just get it over the line, because the amount of hype that will create in the fan base is incredible. I'm so excited to see Jadon Sancho in a Manchester United shirt next season. Now we need to kick on for a centre back or a CDM, I think, probably to replace Matic, who may lose his legs in the second half of the season. But that is all for today. If you join me again in 2 days' time, I think it may be a different time. But yeah, 2 days' time, I will be live again on this channel, doing the same thing pretty much. I'll just be running through all the reports and the transfers. If there's anything you want to talk about, just put it in the comments and I will have a run through of it. Yeah, thank you very much. I've been Kieren, and I'll see you later. Oh, actually, before I go, it's Tuesday today. Wednesday, tomorrow, 5:55, we have the first batch of watch-longs for the Europa League. Please, please, please tune into those, because it'll be Josh and Kieren at 5:55, and then me and Rowan are doing the 8 o'clock games. So those will be Shakhtar and Wolfsburg, Istanbul and Copenhagen by Kieren and Josh. And then me and Rowan do Man United and Las Linz and Inter and Getafe. Then on Thursday, we are both live again, 5:55 for the other 2 games, 8 o'clock for the other 2 games. Then on Friday, when the Champions League starts, we're covering the games as well. Every single game will be covered 8 o'clock on Friday. I think it might be Josh and Rowan. And then on Saturday, I think it's me and Kieren. If you look on the Twitter, it will be confirmed. The Twitter is @the_top corner. Please do follow us. Please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is just under my picture right there on the left-hand side. Yep, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Kieren, and goodbye.